Welcome to Breaking Ground. I'm your host, Devin Kolka. On this show, we meet with industry leaders in the real estate, construction, design, and business worlds. Today in the studio, we have Margo Cargill, founder and CEO of Titanium Links Consulting. Margo is a leader in the public relations field, working on projects such as the Long Island Railroad third track. I'm really excited to talk to her about some of her projects. Let's get into the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Margo, welcome to the show. Really, thank you for coming on. So, founder and CEO of Titanium Links Consulting, public relations firm handling projects of all sizes, both private and public. Tell me a little bit about your day-to-day, because you're a busy woman.
Yeah, it's been really busy. This particular year has been great. I can say that being in public relations and being project-based has been a real pleasure and a real opportunity for me to be in several different sectors, not just in one different field of public relations. So just to give you some perspective on how my firm works. It's project-based public relations that have any kind of impact, high impact on the public, whether it is environmental, social, or economic. So we could work on anything from infrastructure projects to university programs to government policy initiatives and programs that they want to roll out.
And I know you work on some pretty amazing projects, one of which is the Long Island Railroad third track. You are very involved in it, and it's a tremendous project for Long Island. It's a tremendous project for economic development on Long Island. Tell me a little bit about your role and where the project is right now.
Absolutely. Well, Long Island Railroad third track, the prime contractors, they are inevitably my boss. They hired us as ambassadors, and so what we do is the community and stakeholder outreach for the project. So 3TC, it's a joint venture of 4 of the largest construction firms in the world, Dragados, Pacone, Halmar, and CCA Civil, and Stantec is the design lead on that. But they recognize the importance of having a public relations firm and component to the project, because a lot of these projects nowadays, because of social media, the impact of information, the information highway, a lot of the projects now are on full display. And what we really want to do is control that message and control what the public knows and thinks they know about the project. That way we don't get the pushback and we get the support we need to do our job, that's critical to the infrastructure, obviously, of Long Island and of Nassau County particularly.
And it's really important to get you involved as early as possible. I feel like a lot of times developers probably call you when they've already been hit with the pushback and the problem, and you're more of on damage control.
Absolutely.
But to get you involved earlier has got to be more beneficial for the project.
Absolutely. I mean, crisis communications, it's always better to be on the offense than the defense. And so when we prepare for and do some of that market research of whatever community condition we're dealing with, it does a tremendous amount for the project itself, and understanding what the temperament is of everyone from the government officials to business owners to residents and alike.
And you guys do a lot of outreach to the community. I feel like you're always speaking in front of large amounts of people. A lot of times people that are maybe angry or upset about a project coming into their backyard. How do you handle a community and convince them this is great for the community, this is great for tax revenue, this is great, and you should want this?
Honesty, it's the best recipe. Honesty, transparency, and consistency in the message and in everything that we're saying. Just make sure that they're not taken for granted. We want people to understand that these projects, they're not just being subjected to these projects, they are a part of the project. And so giving them as much information as their ears and eyes can bear is really, what helps us to quell, some of those concerns and also to help people understand exactly what we're doing, why it's needed, and that it's good for the progress of Long Island.
So you're also the president emeritus of the Uniondale Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And you have some incredible stuff coming to Uniondale, one of which is the Nassau Hub. Can you tell me a little bit about the beginning stages of that project and what it's going to do for the community once it's built?
Well, yeah, we're really excited about it because obviously land is a critical shortage. It's at a critical shortage in Nassau County and soon Suffolk County as well. So any land that is underdeveloped, such as the 77 acres surrounding the Coliseum, is just like, hey, what's the deal? Let's get to this. But obviously, we wanted to do it in a responsible way and not just push something ahead without real vision or deliberation and discussion with the community, all the stakeholders, once again being involved in what they wanted to see at the hub, which is really the heart of Nassau County, right in the middle of Nassau County, and in very beneficial area, right off of Hempstead Turnpike, right near the Meadowbrook Parkway as well. Understanding those dynamics and how essential that land was and how important it was to develop it in a responsible way, that allowed us to attract the right developer partner, master developer, which is RXR. And they went about it very strategically in having several working groups to really address each of the issues that might come up. Everything from environmental to small business, workforce, they did the whole rigmarole, very responsibly done.
And I've seen some renderings of what they're looking to do, and I know they've put a lot of time and effort into making sure it's leaving a minimal environmental impact, and they're doing like rooftop gardens and,
Yes.
and some really beautiful stuff. On the other side, Hofstra is in that area, and I know you do work with Hofstra as well.
Yes, they are also my client.
Tell me a little bit about what you've worked on with Hofstra.
Well, Hofstra, I was involved in a feasibility study for a program called Ascend 2020, which is funded by JP Morgan Foundation, and it's for the development of minority-owned small businesses. And this would have been the very first time that the program had a location that was not in an inner city. It's a national program. They committed $250 million to the development of this program. And so they never had a suburb, but we had to explain to them and have them understand our region that there are deserts of resources on Long Island as well. So really doing a feasibility study, which I spearheaded our navigators for 4 particular communities, which were lovingly or controversially called the Corridor of Color, which included Uniondale, Hempstead, Freeport, and Roosevelt. So I brought in navigators for each of those areas to do some market research on the small business population, minority-owned small business population, what some of their sticking points were, some of their issues, some of their struggles, and have an honest conversation about what it was like to do business in their communities and how a program like the Ascend program could help them. So we did all of that. We presented them with the feasibility study. We submitted an application and it was approved. So the first cohort was successfully finished last spring. So we're very happy. We're going on the 2nd year now.
That's amazing. And you mentioned, MWBEs, and it's a program that's been around for a while now, but it's really picking up steam these days, and it's so important for our community and for these projects to have MWBEs involved in them. How do we continue the growth of utilization of MWBEs? And for somebody who's listening and wants to figure out how to get more involved or maybe certify themselves,
Right.
what do you do?
Right. Well, New York State MWBE stands for Minority and Women Business Enterprise. So it's been very successful, and Governor Cuomo really pushed forward the initiative, and it's at 30% mandate for all government state-funded projects to have that 30% participation goal. In New York City, it is, I believe it's 20% now, but they're pretty competitive and very progressive in trying to meet that, catch up to that state goal as well. So on Long Island, Nassau County and Suffolk County, as a matter of fact, they recently released an RFP for a feasibility study to be conducted so that we could decide, or they could decide, our legislator and the government could decide exactly what our number should be for this area. And what they found is really the MWB program and policy, the Article 15A, has really helped with minority and women-owned businesses to get a footing in the government space. Because after all, we all pay taxes. And so wanting to be able to have the government as our client as well is, something that we should be able to participate in. And they can easily, go to either the SBDC that's in Farmingdale, SUNY Farmingdale. Their SBDC has really stepped up in informing the public and the small business population about what it is to get certified and what the opportunities are, because it's a tremendous opportunity for women and minorities.
And it is a tremendous opportunity, and it's great for the community, as I said. Tell me a little bit more about, what are you excited for the future of Long Island?
Well, I'm excited about progress. I'm seeing a lot of developments, a lot of transit-oriented developments. I'm seeing less NIMBYism because everyone's seeing, their children move away, outside of Long Island and go to some more urban areas so that they can have the experience that we're now trying to create here on Long Island, which is more walkability, more restaurants, more options, more food options, more entertainment options. Those kinds of things. There was a real pushback against that in the past, in that they wanted to keep Long Island that quaint provincial kind of life and I don't know, feeling for Long Island that was just not sustainable. And as we grow, as Long Island grows, our technology grows, the population grows, so do the resources, and the public amenities need to grow with it. So I'm really excited about the consciousness of our older generation of accepting these new developments and socialization in what a community really looks like, what Long Island will look like, and that more and more the developers are also understanding that the way that they get their grand plans pushed through is by involving the community and having public relation professionals like myself secured early on so that we can advocate for the project and properly speak about what the benefits are and how it will impact their communities.
I couldn't agree more. It's really important to get in front of the community at an early stage, explain to them, as you said, be honest with them. This is what we're looking to do. This is how it's going to benefit. Your kids will be able to use this. your tax revenue for your community will raise, and so it is important to reach out to you and get you involved in these projects of all sizes. But I really
and it's really not just the positives. It can also be the negatives also that we can tackle together, as
course.
opposed to hiding what those problems are, those issues are. Let's just put them out, out and open, so that we can tackle them, because maybe there's a solution out there that we didn't think of. But we can figure it all out together if we do it together with, active conversations and productive discussions.
That's amazing. Margo, thank you for coming on the show today. I think you bring up some tremendous points, that it's both the positive and the negative things that you can help address when getting the community involved. Do you have any closing thoughts for today?
I guess only that, I'm just really looking forward to and excited about the direction of the architecture, engineering, and construction fields, and how they are being very progressive and giving some forethought to public relations and really getting things ahead of time, as opposed to addressing them later on, when they become real issues. Because if we confront them early on, we can get a lot of projects that are needed, very much needed in our regions, done. So, if I can be of service in that space, I'm going to continue to do so, because it's to the benefit of all of us.
So if you want to meet Margo, how does somebody reach you?
Oh, online, obviously our website, titaniumlinks.com, is just the easiest way.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.